Welcome to Payments Playbook, the show where we explore the strategies and systems that drive smarter payments, stronger cash flow, and more profitable business. Brought to you by Paylink, the business-to-business payment experts. Now let's dive into today's episode. We have a very exciting guest, Andrew Lillis. Welcome, Andrew, and thanks for being here. Share a little bit about CJ Chemicals and your role within the company.
Yeah, so CJ Chemicals, we are a chemical distributor. We're based out of the Midwest. Our headquarters are in Howell, Michigan, which is kind of in between Detroit and Ann Arbor. We're in our 15th year of operation. Our CEO, Kathy Lee, has been in the industry going on 38 years. You wouldn't know it by looking at her. She is an industry icon, and she started with Univar and then ran another chemical distributor, but got to the point where there was an opportunity to run her own company, and that's how CJ Chemicals started. We started as a Midwest chemical distributor, now operating throughout North America. We are a certified woman-owned business, which is something we're very proud of. We have 20 employees now. We are also a member of the ACD, Alliance for Chemical Distributors, which is something we're very proud of as well.
Absolutely.
We specialize in a lot of different things. We are strictly a distributor. We don't manufacture anything. We have a warehouse in Toledo, Ohio, and then we have a rail yard that we operate out of in Van Wert, Ohio, that we bring rail cars into transload.
Are most of your customers, are you going B2B, business to business, or do you do some to the end user?
It varies. So there's a wide variety of both, but a lot to the end user and a lot of business to business as well. So it does vary depending on the industry. For sure.
Or within the industry, are you seeing any major industry trends going on within the chemical industry right now?
Ooh. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of changes. The key word is the T word, tariffs. We're seeing a lot of different changes happening. Some of it's good in the sense that some of it's coming back into domestic products, but some of it's bad because there are products that simply cannot be produced domestically. There are some struggles there.
All right.
You're seeing, I think, in this industry, one of the nice things that I see in this industry is that it's still very much relationship driven compared to some of the other industries. But you're also seeing companies being bought up. Some of those smaller, medium-sized distributors, manufacturers are being bought up by the bigger groups now. We're seeing a bit of a trend in that, which can be a good thing, but it's also something where you're losing that small and medium group, which is tough for groups like us, where we've had relationships with family-owned businesses for many years, and you're seeing them being bought up because those second, third generations don't want to necessarily carry on the tradition. So
yeah, it seems like there are a lot of industries right now going through the consolidation process. Some is good, like you said, some is bad. But you mentioned the relationship business. So when you're working with your customers, what have you, you're transparent, pretty much customer focused, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. It is. I mean, we're selling commodities, so it's not like we're selling a specialized product. Everybody has the product. And I think transparency is key. And I think the service part of it is where we separate ourselves. Everybody can drop a gallon, a bucket, a drum off at the door, but it's the service part of it. And it's also when a customer comes to us looking for something that is hard to find. And that's where CJ excels. We have a customer service and a purchasing team that is world-class. And that's what we pride ourselves in doing, is finding hard to find products for people.
So, I mean, if there's an issue, they can call the company and they'll get a live person.
100% they will.
Be able to work with them and get the issue resolved. Yeah, in today's world, with the AI, with the bots and all that, and the phone trees, it's just frustrating in a lot of different industries. And
I wanted to throw my phone many a time.
Hey, amen. Yeah. You mentioned the tariffs right now. Are you having to pile up on inventories at all, or?
We've been very fortunate for CJ. Most of the product that we source is domestic. We do have some products that come from overseas. A couple in particular that, fortunately for us, they aren't available domestically. So we don't have to go through the same type of tariffs, and some of them are exempt. But yes, we do inventory those for customers, and we've had that in place for many years. We do have a good, strong network of partners that do inventory products for us. Some of them that we may have looked at internationally, we are sourcing domestically now. So there have been some struggles, little struggles. I don't think we're there yet. I think there's a gap coming. I don't think people, maybe they don't believe it, but there's a gap coming in the next 6 to 8 weeks that, it's going to mirror COVID.
6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah,
Wow.
you're already at the start of it, and there's half empty freighters coming over, and
Oh,
it's going to happen. I mean, so there have been groups that have stockpiled a bit, but I don't know how much people have stockpiled for.
right.
So we're starting to see some little things here and there, but it's the commodity industry. You're always going to have things going up and down anyways. So we'll get through it. And that's the other nice thing about the industry, I think, too, is that a lot of the distributors will help each other out. If somebody's low on something, it's not like neighborly love where you can go borrow a cup of sugar, but there is a certain amount of help to a certain
Yeah.
extent. Yeah.
Well, in the same boat, and you got to work
Yeah.
together to work your way
You
through
do.
it. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you want to shed light on the industry that's positive, and it's
Yeah.
good you can work together. And you don't see that in every industry, by the way.
Oh, yeah, there's some cutthroat, but if you're cutthroat, and especially in distribution, if you're cutthroat and you go around people, you're flagged very quickly. It's an unwritten rule. If you have that business, then you've earned that business. If they're calling because you haven't performed, then it's fair game.
Right now, in the current state of affairs, what's working well right now, and what's been some of the frustration points?
I think we've had some previous conversations. One of the things that was a pain point for us was our ERP system. It was just one of those things where every company is afraid to make a change on the ERP system, because if we make a change, what happens if something goes wrong? And I think
Yep.
anybody who's been in the industry for any given amount of time, we've all gone through any change and we have nightmares. But we made an ERP change and we started in full force about 4 or 5 months ago. And, granted, we're a smaller company. We've had hiccups, but we have not had these shutdowns where we have been able to move or we've been frozen for 4 weeks. It was something we needed to do to come into the 21st century. Pain points for us, I think, when you're trying to collect money is certainly one, because there's so many ways that we still do it. When you and I had spoken before, we've got customers that range from, we still have a gentleman that comes in with a manual check and drops it off at our office. We still have people that so many different ways of paying. In this day and age where we can simply go to a grocery store and just tap a card and be done, you would think that it's something that we would be looking at. We still have a lot of checks that come in the mail. And for us being mostly a remote company, because we're spread out across the country, a check could be sitting at our office for 3 or 4 days before we're actually looking at it. So those are some things that we look at. Other pain points that we have, to opportunities being slow, being afraid to make a change. And I think that part of that is right now is that if I make a change, what happens if it goes wrong? But side of it is, what if I don't make a change and something goes wrong? I think those are some of the pain points. And we're seeing that right now. Well, what if I order too much and the tariffs go away? Well,
Right.
a lot of these tariffs that we rely on in this industry, they're not going away. And they may go away or they may reduce, but then it's not going to happen overnight. And I think now, after what we've been involved in this now for 2 months, maybe people are starting to wake up. So those are some of the pain points that we see immediately. Long-term pain points are people maybe not understanding how important the chemical industry is to everyday life. People hear chemicals, they automatically think it's bad. There's a lot of good things involved in what we do in the industry and so forth.
So whenever you make that change, you're right. To stay competitive, a lot of times you need to embrace change. We talked briefly the other day about AI. It's coming. There's a lot of good for it, but there's potentially a lot of bad, which I'm not real crazy about, but it's here. How do we leverage that to work for us or for your companies?
Yeah.
You mentioned with the ERP system, you changed 3, 4 months ago. Anytime you do a change like that, it is very heavy lifting. There's a lot of moving parts, and I mean, it's a major undertaking for a company, but at the end of the day, I think you will find some process improvements and visibility. One question I have is on your new ERP system, do you allow customers on online portal at all to see invoices, previous invoices?
So that is the next phase of this ERP system.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why we looked at that system, was to give the customers more of a visual of their invoices, also to give them a bit of a historical view. And there's also an option down the road, if they want to be able to go in and place orders, they can do that. It's not something that we're pushing on our customers, because we still really enjoy having that, I'll say, verbal conversation with them.
Well,
We don't want to
you
lose
want
that
to
interaction.
right,
The
want to
option
maintain
is
the
there.
relationship with them.
The option is there, especially on consistent orders. We've got customers that every week they order the same product, the same thing every time. And if it's easy almost to automate it for them, and if we're making their job easier, then great. And if they're happy with that, perfect. So there is that availability. And we've had some compliments about the changes of our invoices,
Nice.
the descriptions that are on the invoices and so forth, those types of things. And also the feedback that they're getting from our customer service team and how quickly we're able to respond to orders and that type of thing. And that's a huge thing for us. The other part of that ERP system that is included in that is that we have a CRM system, and we're starting to kick that off, and it talks to it. So it's linked together for our sales team. They can see in real time where they are with each customer. They can look at not only where they are with year-to-date sales, but we can add in opportunities to existing new opportunities. They can look at the credit for each customer and add new contacts like any CRM system, but it's in real time. And that's something that we didn't have before. So while big companies, that's a given, for a smaller company to get away from Excel, that was huge. And that's a game changer for us.
Yeah, and you have one portal and everybody has visibility based on permissions, obviously. But yeah, it's all coordinated. Everything's in one place, which from a customer service standpoint is huge.
Yeah. And even big companies, when I was with a big company, a lot of times you'd be waiting till the end of the month to see your sales. And then you'd look and say, oh, customer A, their sales are down 20%, this month, what's going on? So you were reactionary, and now you're able to be proactive and see what's going on. The worst thing from a sales standpoint is to be behind the 8 ball and be reactionary to a customer. You should never be that anyways, because you'd be in contact with them. But again, it just gives another tool for somebody. So.
Yeah, well, it's better to be proactive. And if you have a customer that's ordering on a regular basis and they missed a couple orders, there might be something going on. Someone at the company is out for illness or what have you. And all of a sudden you want to make sure you're helping them manage their inventory a little bit, or they are, they have the products. And the other thing on that new ERP portal, when you do implement the portal for them to see previous invoices, are you going to allow a payment function or click to pay invoices? Or have you thought about that at all?
I think there's been thought and talk about it. That would be something that would be incredible. I think if you've got the option to go in and have a click to pay where you're not having to chase people, and again, we have payment terms and so forth, but if you've got something where it's a click to pay and it's immediate and it improves your cash flow, I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to take and say, oh no, we don't want that. So it's something that I know our ownership would look at. I think that's the one thing that is really exciting about our ownership, is that they are always looking at ways to improve for the company.
Yep.
And it's not for them per se individually, it's for the company. And that was one of the things that attracted me, CJ Chemicals. It was the ownership, because they were investing in the company and the people. Yep. And one of the questions I asked them in the beginning was, are you doing this to build up a company to sell it? Or are you doing this to build a company long term? And they said, no, this company is going to be in our family for generations. And that was something that was very attractive. So this is CJ Chemicals that is going to continue on. It's not something where it's here for 3 years, build it up and sell it to a private equity or to another larger company. The family is dedicated. They want to see people succeed. It allows us to be creative. It allows us to bring ideas to them, and they'll look at them. They may say, you know what, this is not the right time, or this is not what's for us, but they at least give you the platform to bring it to them, and they will sit and listen to it. So if you're coming to them and saying, hey, you know what, we've got this great ERP system we brought to them. Another one we brought was a new website platform that we developed 2 years ago. We've got another system now that is kind of a click and pay that's going to improve our cash flow, make it easier for our customers. Is it something you want to sit down and look at? I'm sure they would. And that's what we like. So, and it gives everybody a voice within the company.
Yeah, it's process improvement. You want to make it easy for the end user to be able to order product from you, to be able to service the product, and be able to pay you, basically, right? It is frictionless as possible. And you're obviously doing that. And like anything, it's a process. It takes time and there's steps involved. You can't do everything at one time. And I know that's excellent. Well, I tell you what, Andrew, can you tell everybody how to get a hold of you or for more information on CJ Chemicals?
Yeah. So our website is www.cjchemicals.net. And we are on LinkedIn. We have a couple thousand followers. We're always on LinkedIn, talking about CJ Chemicals, different things. We have info at cjchemicals.net. For information, you can reach us there. And then from our sales standpoint, we have sales at cjchemicals.net. My email is andrew@cjchemicals.net. You can reach out to me at any given time. We have a wonderful team that is ready to help and serve. Our website was redesigned. We have our full product portfolio on there. If you're looking for an SDS, if you're looking for anything, you can go in. It's very simple to use, where you can just go in and type a CAS number or the product name and pull the SDS off. We don't charge you for it. We don't ask you to sign up and give your life away to get the SDS. We feel that if you want to do business with us, you're going to come to us.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much for participating on the podcast today.
No, thank you, Paul.